All right, here we go. All right, today is May 3rd. It is the bi-monthly Parsons Area Merchants Association stakeholders meeting. And we are welcoming today Andrew Borst, who is a program director for the Columbus Small Business Agenda. I'm going to let him share some information about himself. And then the program. So the main focus today is the business portal and how it can be used to connect one Columbus business to other Columbus businesses. And then after that, we'll touch on a couple other programs that are available right now to not just Southside businesses, but any Columbus City business that meets the qualifying criteria. Let me stop sharing and I will turn it over to Andrew. Let's see. Okay, great, thank you. Let me double check the security. You can share screen, yeah, okay.
Yep, there we go. So, hi everyone, thanks for having me on. Sorry I couldn't make the last one. We aren't as far along with this as I was hoping to be at this point with our contract renewal, but at least I can kind of paint the picture of our vision, and hopefully this is going to be implemented here pretty quickly with the hub. Before I get into that though, I'm new to the city small business team. I came from the State Department of Development, where I worked in our small business office, but supporting small businesses that were typically a pretty decent amount larger than our Main Street businesses doing international work. So companies that are still considered small but are big enough to go sell into foreign markets. So that's kind of my background with the small businesses. So definitely want to work on something a little bit closer to home. So I made the switch over to the city, and it's been a good couple of months. So before I get into the hub, one thing that I do want to let everyone know about is our social media sites. We are growing our social media presence. It's one of our goals is to just get more small businesses following us on our social media channels, including Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. Those are the three that we're using. One thing that we're hearing from a lot of businesses, like, hey, we don't know when time-sensitive programs are opening up and, different SBA things. And sometimes SBA only gives companies like 2 weeks to apply for something. So there's been those kind of things we've been hearing from small businesses. So we are using our small business social media link or social media sites. One, to just promote small business, shop local, highlight some businesses. You can see we did one on the Buckeye Lady up in Clintonville. She's great. She has great Buckeyes. This is a food truck that's over in the Hilltop region. So we do some small business highlights, but at the same time, we are promoting, like Kathy's going to talk about, the Power of One grant, or the SBA had a business accelerator program opening. So it's a little mix of everything, promoting the markets at Pearl. So if you do have events in your area, please let us know. We're happy to promote them. Our following isn't very large at the moment, but we've doubled our followers in the past couple of months, hoping to double it again here over the summer and really start to turn this into a channel that we can promote small business, shop local, like I said, small business programming, etc. So if you do talk to a small business, have them follow us. That's our Instagram page. We also have a Facebook following. Our Facebook following is not as large, but we still have it there. And then LinkedIn, especially if you have some professional contacts, so it's fine. We're pretty much posting the same content. We're going to be a little bit more active with LinkedIn, posting some stuff that's more relevant, not necessarily to small businesses, but to other stakeholders in the small business space around the city. So hopping over here to the hub. So I don't know how much Kathy's told you about the hub. This is something that was started before I got brought on. One of my responsibilities when I was brought on was to manage the hub. It's a work in progress. We have a vision for where we want it to go, but with everything, working with the vendor to get it to that point, we're also in the middle of renewing our contract with the vendor. So things are just taking a little bit longer to get us to the final place where we want to be. Also, we have a little bit of cleanup that we want to do once the contract gets renewed, just to make sure that the resources are curated for the small businesses. You'll see if you go through, some of the resources that are on here aren't very relevant to a lot of the small businesses. So we're working to get that cleaned up as well. We were hoping to have it done by the end of April, but probably looking at sometime in the next couple of months, getting it to where we want it to be. So if you do have companies, you can send them into the resource tab. There are ways that companies can go in and filter and search for different programs. Our Accelerate Columbus program is right here at the first one. This is a business accelerator program. I'm sure Kathy's talked about it in the past. We are still accepting applications from small businesses for cohorts under the Accelerate program. They are starting to fill up a little bit. So there are some of the, like the women's business one, they already started a cohort, but they're recruiting for more. So, you know, it's a way that you can send people here, see what some of the resources are, see what's active, what's still being recruited for. And then you can scroll down and see there's different stuff here, some co-working spaces, etc. If you want to go in and look for the small businesses that have registered themselves on the hub, you can click on small businesses. And this
Hey,
is
before
kind
you
of
move
feeding into
on,
our bid. Okay.
yeah, quick question.
Yep.
So the Accelerate Columbus, is there a hard stop on the application, or is it kind of more like when it's full, and that'll be it?
There's the 7 different cohorts, 7 different flavors, 7 different classes. So some of them are filling up faster than others. So we'll probably turn off the, you know, maybe the women's business one is full for this cohort, the next cohort's full, we can't take anyone else, we have a wait list, that one's getting turned off. Then it could be, hey, we saw the Chamber of Commerce one that we have available, and Kim Knight's program over at the Columbus Compact is still a pretty large program. So there's going to be a lot of people that she's going to be accepting into that one. So I envision that's going to be open for a while. But you kind of see what I mean. We're just going to play it by ear and see which ones fill up, and then we'll go from there. But
Yeah.
currently, companies can submit an application for anything. If there are any that are full, they'll just default to their second choice.
Okay.
Yep. So then the small business tab that's in here as well. Small businesses, we're encouraging them to register their small business on the site. Just helps with a little bit more publicity for them. They can get their name out there. We have a couple in here right now. We haven't really been pushing for small businesses to get registered yet until we get this contract renewed. We want to make sure that we're getting things cleaned up so that it's a positive first impression, but they can still by all means jump on now. We just haven't been making a strong push till this gets renewed. Ultimately, this jobs tab here is going to be business to business matchmaking. Our big goal is to have businesses, small businesses supporting other small businesses. So this is just a test record that I had in here. Basically, though, if you have a company that needs landscaping services, instead of, you know, going to Google searching and maybe getting a big corporate place, post on here, hey, I'm looking for a small business landscaper in my area, and just a way to find other small businesses that you can support and really build that small business ecosystem. Same with like catering. Hey, I have a corporate or I have a function at my small business. I need some catering or a florist, etc. Instead of just going to 1-800-Flowers, hop on here, say, hey, I'm looking for a florist to deliver flowers for this event in a month. It's just a way to help build a little bit more community and a little bit more recognition of the other small businesses in the area. And this is, well, as soon as that contract gets renewed, this is going to be a big push of ours over this. On here, reaching out to other small businesses. It's not really on the workforce side, it really is finding another small business vendor to work with, not to post like, hey, I need a job, or I need a line cook at my, you know, my small restaurant. It's going to be more working with other small businesses to, you know, fill specific needs. Marketing is another one. It could be website work. Like maybe there's someone who's doing a part-time website building on the side. They can reach out to that person. Hey, I need a new website, and work with them directly. Like I said, instead of going to a bigger player, they can shop local. So that's kind of the vision for where we're going. As soon as, like I said, that contract gets renewed, we'll be making a big push on this, and we'll let you all know. But right now, what we're pushing is still Accelerate Columbus. Follow us on social, and like Kathy's going to talk about, the Power of One grant, or our big 3 things that we're pushing everyone right now, while this is kind of in a holding pattern. But any questions, any thoughts? I'm open for anything.
Can you just talk a little bit about navigating, like signing up in the first place? Like, so if I was a small business and I wanted to, you know, sign up, what would that look like? that would be the first step, right? To sign up for an account even before the business to business search thing is ready, right?
Yeah, so they can still you can still have like 95% of the functionality probably without creating an account. You can still click and do all the everything that's here is public. You can see it. When it comes to posting, like, hey, I need a landscaper, that's when you're going to have to really register. But we're not forcing companies to create an account and all that stuff just to see the information. So once we encourage them to, but once it gets to the point that they want to go in and do the business to business matchmaking section and make one of these, they'll have to have their small business registered and have some basic information on there, and they can just go to sign up, put in. It's not going to work because I already have a record in as myself, but and then make your password, agree to terms and conditions, and then they can just continue, proceed, and then they can provide some more information for themselves. So hop over to one of the small business records. It's on here. And we're working to customize this a little bit more. So it'll be a little bit more relevant to each of the businesses. But this pest control company that's here, they can do a little blurb, link to their website, more information. This is the owner who created it. So he's registered as both he made his own personal registration, and he registered as small business. So we can go in here. He can post if there was an event or something. Jobs is, like I said, going to be the business to business matchmaking. So if he is looking for services, it'll pop up there. And this is kind of just like his little landing page for his small business.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
And so
it's kind of a
currently,
two-step process.
yeah, so currently, if you were looking for something, if you go back to all organizations, on the kind of the middle top there. Yeah, that's fine too. Yeah.
So this is going to show you all the small businesses and all the resource providers that are in here.
Yeah.
So the resources are here, and then so say for example, small business counseling from the Small Business Development Center in Columbus State. That's a resource, the small business counseling. They'll have an organizational page too talking about the SBDC at Columbus State. So there's two different ways to search. So if you're really familiar, say, with the Urban League and you're, hey, let's see what the Urban League programming looks like, you can go to the Urban League page, click on that and see all the resources that they're providing. Or if you're not familiar with the Urban League, you can go and, oh, I found a resource that the Urban League's providing. They're having a small business networking event. And then you could be connected with the Urban League that way too. So there's really two different ways to navigate.
And if you scroll up just a little, so that add organization is where, after I've created my contact as a business, I would add my company. Is that true?
Yeah, so if you add, and this is the two-part thing, so small business, if you go over here, so you'll make your own login, then you add your, let me log in and it'll look better. It looks a little bit different because I am an admin, so more or less they can go in, add their company in here, ABC company, or oh, that's the website, abc.com, ABC company. So they can make the record and then they'll just claim it as the, how do I want to phrase this? It's like if you have a Facebook account and you have like a Facebook page, your Facebook account, you're claiming the Facebook page, same concept. You have your own personal credentials to log in and you're just connecting with your small business. So kind of a two-step process. Make a login, make a small business and claim it. And that'll link them together.
And it looked like there were different kinds of organizations, right? You had resource providers, seemed pretty popular. Maybe the filter, what is the filter? Does that let you look for different?
Yeah, so if you go in here, you're looking for a business accelerator. So, Accelerate Columbus would pop up. You're looking for, there's a lot in here too. We're going to start to curate this a little bit more. If you're looking for grant funding, if you're looking for grant opportunities, you can click there. It'd filter down to active grant opportunities. If you're looking for, what's another one that's popular in here? Loans. So you click on loans, it's going to take you to a lot of loan servicers, loan providers for small business lending. Legal, same thing. If you're looking for legal support. So really, it's just going in here and finding the resource that you're looking for and going from there.
Gotcha.
And filtering is an easier way just to curate something, because there's 341 records. You don't want to go and click through everything. Yeah. You can search too. I like to filter. Most of the time, if you go in here searching for something, you don't really know exactly what you're looking for. So you kind of just want if you knew the small business lender that you wanted to use, you probably wouldn't be coming to the hub. You're coming to the hub to see what are some of the small business lenders that are in this space. So filtering, I would recommend for companies that are looking for stuff.
Mhm. And then it looks like that little tab on the right in a card, you can bookmark your favorites, is that?
Oh yeah, same thing. You can make your own list. It'll show up as a list. You can also make a list for yourself too. If you want to follow up with some people, you can favorite it, add it to a list so that it's more curated for you to go back to. Especially if it's like some stuff's a little bit longer for an application. If you're on here looking and you want to come back to it later, bookmark it, save it, come back and fill out the application at a later date. Especially if it's more financial stuff and you're applying for a loan, you probably want to not do it on your phone. Kind of, you know what I mean? Sitting down at a computer later.
Other attendees, questions for Andrew? Anything? Has anybody tried this yet? Curtis, Allegra, Harry?
No, but now I
And
plan
we'll
to.
have some tutorial.
Oh, I was just saying I'm going to.
Yeah, I was guessing.
We'll have
Garnet.
some tutorial. Yeah, we'll have some tutorial videos that we're going to host probably on YouTube that we can send. We'll send the links out to once this gets to where we want it to be. It's like I said, it's just a holding pattern while we wait for the contract to be renewed, and then we're gonna get everything switched over to where we want it to be. But we'll be in touch when that happens. With the city procurement process, it's not always the fastest, but we're working through it. But yeah. But in the meantime, though, Kathy, if you need any Power of One cards, pamphlets, we have like little postcard size things. If you want, we can drop some off to you guys if Casa hasn't offered it already.
I got a handful from Lisa.
Oh, awesome. Perfect. You already have them.
Yeah, so I stopped at the Neighborhood Design Center yesterday. The 614 Beautiful Grant, which PAMA was a lucky recipient of, which was funded through City Council and Council Member Lourdes's kind of sponsorship, I guess I'll use that word. So PAMA was awarded a 614 Beautiful Grant. I think we've talked about it on previous calls. The banner, so the goal of the banners was to work with All People Arts to solicit some artists that would have community engagement meetings, which we had, and then would use that community engagement to produce the banner design. So there are 8 different artists that produced different banner designs that represent the South Side, and one common banner that will be half the banners will be the common banner that basically talk about Parsons Avenue. So I picked up a banner yesterday from the flag lady who's doing the work for us, and I took it to the Neighborhood Design Center to show Lisa and Juliana. Those banners, if all goes well, will be installed on the avenue in about 2 weeks. We're hoping for the week of the 15th. And then we also have a cleanup scheduled on the avenue with the Southeast Lions being the primary participant in scheduling that and getting that ready, with support from Catherine Call, who's our city liaison. That cleanup is on Saturday the 20th. I believe at 9 a.m. And I believe, at least for now, the plan is to meet at the Kroger parking lot on Parsons. So we are trying to get as many people out to kind of spruce up the avenue. You can call it spring cleaning, and then get the banners up. There'll be 80 banners on the 2 miles of Parsons Avenue. And, for some of you, the current banners are, they're actually from the mid-90s. So they're very, very old. And most of them have gone missing. So the new banners are, they're not as shiny. They look really nice. So that's one thing that's happening imminently, basically in the next 2.5 weeks. Let me go ahead and share the power of one. And we'll include this in the email as well. So it's power1cbus.org. I don't know how Zoom is handling this. There's this video. There's a speeded up video that is showing some of the work that was done previously. So I'm just going to get rid of that because Zoom doesn't really do all that well with showing other videos. So basically, it's a small business grant. It's for exterior work only. And these are the eligible items. So awnings, seating and shade, lighting, landscaping, graphics and signage, and art. So those are the main points for those of you that have been following along. Shrimp Lips on Parsons was a recipient of a grant in the last year. And so that, that building was repainted, new awnings, new planters, and I think the fence was stained. So it's really trying to get a more attractive perspective on the avenue, so improving curb appeal. So that is the goal of that, and I believe, according to the materials I got from Lisa, which are I have some also in Spanish. I have Spanish and English. The application opened on May 1st, and the goal is to be submitted by June 3rd. So basically we have a month. And then the decision committee will select the 15 businesses in the city for an award. The design phase will be July to September, and the implementation will start in October and roll into next year, depending on the weather. You have to be within the city of Columbus, you have to be in operation for 1 year, and you have to be up to date on your taxes. And then there's some other goals, right? That you haven't been a previous recipient. That's preferred. It's not a hard thing. They want the business to be able to provide some of the implementation labor, and we're certainly happy for PAMA to help solicit volunteers from the neighborhoods. There's a preference for opportunity neighborhood, which a healthy chunk of the South Side is in. And then some preference for minority women, veteran, LGBTQIA owned, or other minority certified business. So yes, we have a lot of good things happening here in the next month or two. We have these meetings every other month. So if by then Andrew shared some of the links and some of the tutorials and the go forwards, we can add that to the next bi-monthly meeting. Otherwise, we have the cleanup on May 20th. We have the Avenue for All event, which the Community Development for All People is organizing. Anyone's welcome to attend that. There will be tabling available for organizations that aren't selling anything, but Andrea Wood is the contact for that. And the date for that is June 10th which is a Saturday at 11 to 3. And again, it will be closing Parsons between Whittier and Cosset, like we have for the past couple years. There was a goal or is a goal to have a shuttle available that will run up and down the avenue that will provide additional access. The goal is to have a business passport again for those of you who have participated in the past. Anyone that visits a certain number of businesses that have agreed to participate in the passport will stamp that passport for any community member that comes to visit their business. And then any community member that gets a certain number of stamps will be eligible to receive a small gift certificate that can be used in any of the businesses that participated. So it's a way to try to get people into businesses on the avenue, to get the businesses on the avenue a little bit of recognition, and to kind of sponsor that program. And it went really well. We're hopeful for good weather again this year. They will also have music and children's games and some food and some other items. So those are some of the upcoming events for May and June. Anyone else have anything they'd like to share, or any questions that they might have, or topics to cover?
Kathy, a question. We're doing these virtual things still. Is it something that you guys had discussed prior about coming out of COVID and stuff, about doing more in-person types of things, or maybe trying to see if we can gather more folks in person? I don't know. I guess I'm just throwing that out.
Yeah. We haven't done it yet, but we have discussed doing so. I do think that, we have a hard time with businesses. Everybody has a different schedule and so on. We have talked about doing a happy hour after the PAMA event. Again, it's the Avenues for All event. It is a Saturday. It is 11 to 3. So it would definitely be possible to try to get together on that afterwards, if people are interested, to one of the Parsons businesses for a quick meet and greet. Yeah, so we can talk about that, Curtis.
Okay.
I did think of one more thing I wanted to mention. So the city is updating the zoning code, as hopefully most people are aware of that. The first focus on the updated zoning code is going to be the commercial corridors, which includes Parsons, it includes South High Street, and includes Lockbourne Avenue, as well as Livingston, of which we have a small part of Livingston also in our south side. So there are a series of meetings happening. The first one was last night, and it was the same as this one, zone in on Columbus housing. So the second version of that will be on May 10th. But there is one here talking about our main streets. So this one would be especially interesting to our businesses. And then there's two of those, May 16th and June 1st. And then the last one is actually a virtual meeting, and that is zone in on my business. So we want especially business owners to participate, to hear from the city about their plans for the zoning code update and how that can be supportive of the businesses. So we'll get that information out to folks as well, because this will all happen before our next scheduled stakeholder call. Basically, the goals are, with the corridors, to kind of double down on, both reducing the burden of the zoning variance process and frankly, the building process, and then to focus attention on the investing in the corridors, because in our corridors is a place for us to gather, for the neighbors to be part, kind of coming together. And, to try to focus both public transportation as well as density along those borders. So I don't want to speak for the city. I think you can find out everything you want to know about here. So we do have a couple zoning variance applications for commercial businesses. We have one on Alum Creek this month. We have one on down in the corner near the fort this month. So we have a variety of opportunities for folks to participate and learn about what's going on with zoning, because that zoning and land use are what kind of drive the way the city is developed. And as the city is growing, both naturally and as the Intels and the Honda battery plants and so on of the world are built, we do expect, and the city expects, a large influx of additional residences that we want to, get ahead of and not, be reactive to. So, any questions about any of that? Again, here's the map. For the south side, you can see basically the whole brewery district, the west side along High Street, east and west sides, Livingston, and this is Parsons, and this is Lockbourne. This is also Livingston. So, all righty. Anybody else? All right, well, I will call this. I'll get it, the recording uploaded to our YouTube channel. Andrew, if you have anything you want me to share directly besides the materials on Power of One and Zoning Columbus, I can get that. Lisa will put together a follow-up email with all the links. And like I mentioned, and Curtis is also involved in, getting this packet together and getting it out. And, our email and virtual meetings sometimes work, but we have a lot of small businesses that I think a more personal angle is going to work better for. And certainly, Allegra, I appreciate your fanning out this material to the fort and the fort adjacent businesses as well. So
There's a lot to share here. It's nice.
Great. All right. Well, thank you again, Andrew, for joining. Keep us posted, and hopefully we'll get the business portal up, and we'll drive more both your social channels and also to the portal itself. So, all right.
Yeah,
Thanks,
absolutely.
everyone.
And if you have any businesses, send them over. We can do a business highlight for them on our channels if you have anyone who's interested.
Okay, great. Thanks again. Have a good day.
Thanks.
Bye.